Today, we're diving into a really fascinating intersection of ideas. We're looking at a 1,400-year-old piece of Islamic history, early concepts of animal rights, and how it all aligns literally, perfectly with modern science. If you've ever wondered how ancient traditions handled the everyday realities of living with animals, you are absolutely going to love this. We're breaking down exactly what Islam teaches about cats and how a few simple statements completely transformed the way an entire civilization viewed these little guys.
Let's start by picturing a very specific everyday scenario. Okay, you're at home and you're thirsty. There's a bowl of fresh water sitting out in the corner of the room. Suddenly, a cat wanders over, leans down, takes a few long drinks from that bowl, and then just casually walks away. So, you've got a dilemma. Is that water still pure? Is it clean enough for you to use? I mean, a lot of people today would instantly think, well, a cat's saliva just touched it, so it's got to be dirty, right? I should probably just toss it out. It's a supernatural reaction. But what did Islam actually teach about this exact situation?
Section 1. A lesson from Medina.
To answer that, let's travel back 1,400 years. Picture this. One day, a close companion of the Prophet Muhammad, a man named Abu Qatadah, was getting ready to perform his wudu, the ritual washing before prayer. He's got his vessel of water ready to go, but as he's doing this, a cat wanders up to the vessel, clearly wanting a drink. Now, Abu Qatadah doesn't shoo the cat away. He doesn't freak out about his water being ruined. Instead, he does something so beautifully compassionate. He actually tilts the container toward the cat so it can drink more comfortably. Now, someone nearby was watching this whole thing unfold and was completely shocked. Like, why on earth would a highly respected companion let a stray animal drink from the exact same water he was about to use to purify himself?
Okay, let's dive into this, because Abu Qatadah definitely noticed the observer's shock, and he explained exactly why he did it. He cited a direct quote he had heard from the Prophet Muhammad. He said, "The cat is not impure. It is among those that move around freely among you." This simple, profound ruling, which is recorded in Sunan Abi Dawud and several other authentic collections, completely shifted the Muslim view of cats. I mean, practically overnight, this statement changed their status from potential household pests to respected, pure cohabitants. The Prophet didn't just give a basic yes or no about the water, he fundamentally redefined the cat's place in the human environment.
And notice something amazing about the practicality here. The Prophet could have very easily said, nope, don't use that water, but he didn't. He declared the cat itself is not impure. This brilliantly illustrates how Islam functions as a religion of balance, mercy, and everyday practicality. Think about where cats live. They're in our homes and courtyards, roaming the streets, wandering through marketplaces. If Islamic law had declared them impure, trying to avoid them all the time would have caused immense hardship for everyday people. Instead, Islam brought ease. It recognized the reality of human-animal proximity and legislated mercy rather than some strict, impossible avoidance.
Section 2. The cost of cruelty.
Now we do have to look at the other side of this coin. Deep respect requires active responsibility. Let's contrast the beautiful mercy we just saw with a much darker story from the tradition. On one hand, you have Abu Qatadah gently tilting his water bowl so a thirsty cat can drink. On the other hand, the Prophet warned the community about a specific woman who did the exact opposite. She literally locked a cat inside. She didn't offer any food, and she refused to let it outside so it could at least hunt for insects in the dirt to survive.
The conclusion to that story is honestly chilling. The Messenger of Allah said, "A woman entered hell because of a cat. She confined it, neither feeding it nor letting it eat from the insects of the earth." This is recorded in the most authentic collections, Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Really think about the gravity of that for a second. A small, seemingly insignificant animal, a quiet act of cruelty behind closed doors, yet it resulted in a severe divine warning. It teaches a foundational ethical rule. Animals are not just objects, they aren't toys, they are creations of Allah, endowed with specific rights, and violating those rights brings real divine punishment.
Section 3. The science of cats. Let's move to Aquinas and see how this builds into modern empirical validation.
So, let's see how modern science actually backs up these ancient teachings. First up, let's look at the cleanliness of cats. Researchers have spent a ton of time studying feline behavior, and they found that cats spend roughly 30 to 50% of their waking hours grooming themselves. Just think about that for a second. Up to half of their conscious life is dedicated to constantly cleaning their fur, their paws, and their face. They are meticulous. This biological drive for cleanliness makes them one of the cleanest domestic animals on the planet, which perfectly mirrors the Islamic assertion of their purity.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the vital distinction we need to make between two very different concepts: being pure in Islamic law versus being germ-free in biology. Science tells us that a cat's mouth absolutely contains bacteria. It's not a sterile environment. But here's the crucial distinction. Religious purity does not equal biological sterility. I mean, even human saliva contains millions of bacteria. If the simple presence of microscopic bacteria made something impure, we wouldn't even be able to interact with each other. So the fact that a cat has bacteria in its mouth does not automatically trigger a state of ritual impurity in Islamic law. The law is concerned with an entirely different standard of cleanliness.
Furthermore, archaeological evidence proves that cats have shared human homes for thousands of years. They literally evolved to live in the exact kind of close, symbiotic proximity to humans that the Prophet described 1,400 years ago, when he said, "It is among those that move around freely among you." He was making an incredibly astute observation about the fundamental nature of the species. A statement made over 14 centuries ago perfectly captures the reality of the human-feline relationship that science and history confirm today.
Section 4. The real message. So, when we bring together the history, the ethical warnings, and the science, what's the ultimate takeaway? So, the crucial point is really captured in these 5 summary teachings. First, cats are definitively not impure. Second, they're recognized as a natural, unavoidable part of daily life. Third, showing kindness to them brings immense spiritual reward. Fourth, showing cruelty to them, even just through neglect, brings devastating spiritual punishment. And fifth, all of this showcases that the religion of Islam is fundamentally based on wisdom, mercy, and ease. It doesn't teach some irrational hatred or fear of animals. It teaches balanced, merciful responsibility.
We just keep coming back to this one short, powerful phrase from Sunan Abi Dawud: the cat is not impure. It's just a few words. It's regarding a very small animal, yet it holds a timeless lesson about respect for the world around us. I want you to remember this specific historical moment the next time you see a cat quietly drinking water from a bowl. It's not just a mundane, everyday event. It's a living reminder of a 1,400-year-old declaration of mercy and balance.
Because ultimately, this explainer isn't just about a ruling on water. It's about a much larger principle. In Islam, even the way we treat a common street cat serves as a mirror, reflecting the true quality of our faith. So I want to leave you with this question to reflect on. If the way we treat a small animal reflects the quality of our faith, how will you interact with the creations around you today? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through history, theology, and science. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.